and I'm really excited and proud to reintroduce back into the show Tony Patagonia over at Seven Odds. We've been connecting for nearly a decade. I can't even remember how many years it's been when he was over at Loyola joining us for the monthly hip hop ciphers. He would come out, talk about his records. The Seven Odds guys would always come up and talk about whatever it is they're doing. So there's a lot of great stuff that was going on that they would always come and celebrate. So Tony has the new record, Iconoclast, dropping, and he's going to be over at the Subterranean Wicker Park in Chicago. If you're in the area, go out there and support. It's a pleasure to introduce Tony to the show, Weekend Brunch. Good evening, sir, or good morning.
Good morning, Bob.
I'm so used to saying good evening because of Weekend at Games.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of conditioning to get into the phone. Maybe I need to do the show more often. But anyways, good morning. How are you?
Good. Very good. Just super excited about tonight. Like you said, it's the album release show tonight. So pretty geeked up.
Yeah, exactly. You have quite a few people on the bill. Talk a little bit about who's going to be joining you.
The bill is kind of the main reason why I'm excited is because I got a lot of good, dope, super weathered MCs. That been around, been doing shows like around the country. I got my homies Razo and Graves coming in from Indiana. I did a show with them like about a month and a half ago in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and their sets jump off. Razo, they just got some ill, like kind of like Midwestern, Southern kind of touch to their steez. So I'm digging them already. I'm blessed that they're coming. I got my man Evie Hustles. He's coming in from Colorado. He's just a super dope MC. I feel like he's like me. We got that street lingo going on. So shout out EB Hustles. Then I got number 2 in White Jesus from Chicago. Chicago bred MCs. Then I got the homie Aztec the Barfly from Detroit. He's coming in, man. He's part of Middle Finger Music. They're jumping off over there. So shout out to all of them. Then Oliver Fade on the 1s and 2s. So yeah, man. Paz Lyrics is hosting. I mean, this one couldn't have been put together better than whoever made that house in Soldier Field for Kanye.
That is very true as well. Tell people how can they just like pop in, or do they need to get a ticket ahead of time? Tell
so
people
legit, you could just pop in. We are asking for a back proof of vaccination and 3 days negative results. But man, it's gonna be dope. $10 at the door. Yeah, it's gonna be jumping off 2011 West North Avenue tonight. Doors open at 10.
There you go. The late show. All right.
Yep.
I'm gonna be in bed, but everyone else who's under 40, as I was mentioning, this is definitely the space for you. But I would definitely come out. We just have some. The wife and I have a date night, so priorities.
Do it up.
Exactly. Happy wife, happy home.
There you go. So true.
Exactly. But anyways, so fantastic. So if you're free tonight, head over to Wicker Park in Chicago. That is the place to be for some great underground hardcore hip hop, and that's exactly what we're talking about this morning with our guest Tony Patagonia, who has the new record Iconoclast. Let's talk about a little bit about the meaning behind that. If we dig into Webster's or Oxford dictionaries, the definition is as follows: a person who attacks cherished beliefs or institutions. I know you guys as a whole always are challenging hip hop to be better, to be more inspired, to be more earnest, and more to the origin of representing skills and talent. Is this exactly kind of following in the trend of what some of your guys' motto is already?
Pretty much. I mean, it's just like another way to say what our objective is,
Right.
Like the Iconoclast in itself is just an annex of what Seven Odds does. It's just me by myself, kind of like calling it out, like, yo, there's a lot of people here around, or just I feel like are just around it for like not the right reasons, And aesthetically, you got to be true to your game in hip hop, and like, man, you got to master this. So like, I would just like for any of those guys wearing those Bape hoodies and those super expensive ugly shoes, like, just because you got that doesn't mean like you've reached the level of anything. You got to put in the work. That's what Iconoclast is. It's just a call out. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
all out. Like that's basically what it is.
I was talking a little bit, sort of in jest about what the next 10 years may be for me and like doing your 10,000 hours, right? Working, being an expert in your field and developing the skill set. And then I think that everyone has the idea that once you've sort of completed your 10,000 hours that you should be able to propel yourself into a next space. Well, what does that next space look for Tony Patagonia with this record? Like, where are you hoping to draft your career into, or move? What space are you expecting to kind of move into?
Uh, well, I'm expecting to move into more of a space that's like kind of something that's made by myself. You know, like
Mm,
something that is like necessarily we know of it, but it's not has not been out there yet. You know what I'm saying? So like
sure.
I feel like I uh dance to the beat of my own drummer. You know what I'm saying? So like nothing that I do would I like it to have been like anyone else. So like the sky's the limit. And I mean, I feel like right now with this album, like, I mean, this album is my first solo. Like, I don't have any rap features on it. And, that was like,
Right.
subconsciously, I'm like, man, do I really want to do this? You know what I'm saying? And like not have one rap feature, like just to, offset something or something like that. And that's the way you think. But I'm like, no, let me just keep this true. Let me see what happens. And man, the receptiveness on this has been super great. So like,
Yeah.
just this right now opens a lot of doors for me. You know what I'm saying? Like creatively and like kind of giving myself that pat on the back. You know what I'm saying? That I never
Yeah.
do.
Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that because it's hard because I know how close you and the Seven Odds guys are and the team is together. You guys are always collaborating, working with each other, doing compilation records together, helping each other produce records. And here, we see that, like you mentioned, it's just you on handling the writing, and then you working with custom made. Talk a little bit about like kind of into that decision making process. Were you already kind of in the record, creating the record, decide like, you know what, let me just finish this by myself, or did you kind of already imagine yourself as like this next record has to really focus on my voice and not get distracted by some of the features, which cause sometimes can drown out an artist, especially
Mhm.
if you go OD, right? But did you finally feel like like I really, or was it a challenge for you more so? Because that can be a really big thing too as well. We see a lot of new artists who do the EP, the 3-4 songs, and because that's really their capacity. And here
Mhm.
you give us a full album of just you. So was it more of was it a decision made beforehand, or was it kind of like a challenge that you wanted to offer yourself?
So legit. I mean, I wrote the first song and I never had the idea of not putting any features on it. Like I just wrote it and then I had it. But once I grooved into the second one, I did I that challenge idea did come into my mind. I'm like challenge, and then I'm like,
Right.
I'm like, you know what, man? Let me just do this. Dream has done one. Dream has done. Tech the Terrible was solely him, and other artists I feel like have done that. So I feel like that was kind of like maybe another step to the Tony Patagonia, kind of like career or things I've done. So
Right.
I've always thought about it like, but that I think one of the albums I went all the way through and then I like added a Dream Tech verse, which is always ill. But like this one, I'm like, custom blessed me with these beats, and I'm like, let me do something different. So like, not only uh like verse wise is there different and like choices of beats is there difference, but the idea of me doing it alone is just a level of difference already. And that's kind of like the steps I take. Like everything is a difference for me when it comes for me to writing. Like one of the albums I wrote, like I had just bought my house and I like created this writing office, and that Spanish album I wrote there, and like that was the idea. So
Yeah.
ideas come from different ideas, and that was just I guess the basis of it.
Yeah, exactly. Talk a little bit about working with Custom Made. We're used to seeing you, like you mentioned, working with Dream, working with the Seven Odds producers. What was it about Custom that either drew you in, or how did that relationship build in itself?
Well, Custom and I, we've been knowing each other for like, I think I'm gonna say like 4 years now. I mean, I definitely had heard of Custom before I actually knew him. Um, I honestly, I mean, it just evolved like through networking within, you know what I'm saying, the Chicago underground kind of, network there. So eventually, I think my homie, I think if I'm not, I think Dooms was like, he had made he made a project with, Custom called Hermanidad. I believe that's the right way how they spelled it, but it's legit. It's super legit. It's in Doom spit in Spanish. Shout out Doomsday, and then I from there like I always like to give every, especially Chicago, like there's this meme floated around or like, oh, don't pay this guy who's quote unquote famous like $1,000 for a beat. Instead, just go down the block and grab one from your homies. Well, I always kept that concept. I always like to keep it in house. Like if I could help you, you help me. You know what I'm saying? So I heard Customs production and I'm like, yo, this kid is dope, and then I hollered at him. We made like he actually got three beats on my avant-garde record, which
Right.
is super dope. And then from that, we just kind of like talked about doing something, and then boom, he had dumped me a bunch of beats, and one of them was the first song that I wrote for Iconoclast, and then we just made the whole album. And working with him wise, he's a beast with it, like ask him for extend the beat or something, boom, right away, you know what I'm saying? So he does like a lot more than like people I've worked with in the past, you know what I'm saying? Like he's there, like the return on the work is just like crazy astronomically fast, like he's
Right.
quickly. Shout out Custom, yeah.
So I know that Dream ended up mixing the album. What was did you get a response from him? Because he didn't have like a lot of involvement with the album, but was his stamp of approval? Like, were you looking for that? You're like, yeah, like, what do you think about this? And did he give you a
Oh,
response?
Oh yeah, that Dream's the gatekeeper. Let me just tell you this right now. Like nothing that flows through Seven Odds like will go out unless it goes through Dream. And like I mean, and it's right, because not only does he know like the leveling and like just how things should aesthetically sound, he just has a good ear for it. And like and definitely there's things that he said to me during like not even like when I brought him like records to listen to, like, yo, listen to this. Like just concepts of tracks that I told him, and he's like completely shut him down. He's like, nah, that ain't gonna fly, this and that. So I'm like, man. So yeah, when I wrote this, I definitely had like the thought that, man, I'm gonna have to have Dream Tech listen to this and get that approval. But man, no, like I said, like I'm confident with it. I was confident, and I let him hear the songs that I had, and he gave him that Dream Tech stamp of approval, and so did the rest of the label. The homie Hobbs was pretty much recording every song with me, and as I did it, he was like not only like just helping me like as a recording engineer, but like just kind of also helping me in like the artistic, push. Like, yo, I got an idea for something, but he'd come in and like be like, yo, this would sound good, or you know what I'm saying? Give me like a good, nice actual set of ideas and options. So shout out Roy Hobbs.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, so it wasn't like just because we don't hear the voices of Seven Odds doesn't mean that there still wasn't that influencer, that
Oh
aura
no.
surrounding the making of it.
Yeah, no, no, no. They were there in the background. We had a listening party. I needed everyone to approve everything, you know what I'm saying? And even before the listening party, that we were there, we were chilling, we were doing other work, and I just, yo, hold on, before everyone leaves, let me play these songs. And everyone's like, yo, these are dope. They gave me the, ideas. And like I said, they were definitely working in the background. You know what I'm saying? Like those apps you leave on your phone. When you leave them open, wasting your battery. Nah, shout
Right.
out Slipknot, man.
What is we're mentioning like you being in this for a while now, and this being sort of like you said, you're kind of like official debut like solo record because it's all you. But reflecting back, you mentioned like you had the Spanish record that you experimented with. You have a number of other releases that have come out in the last 7 to 10 years. Like where do you think that this lands in your space of creating? Do you feel like you're getting stronger with each release? Or are does this add an additional, sort of wood to throw into the fire to flame those passions to keep moving forward? Like sort of reflecting on where you've been and where you're at now. Well, what does this album mean to you?
Um, definitely, you know, kind of like to piggyback off of that flame and the fire thing. Like it definitely like has rekindled a confidence, and I have that I never didn't have, but like now I'm like, yo, like this is all me, and everyone is digging it. Like I'm getting like so much good, you know, like feedback from
Feedback.
it. Yeah, the vibes are just great. So like definitely like it just motivates me to do more, you know, and like kind of like go outside the box and like you know, there's songs in here like I said I had mentioned that aren't of my pattern of beats or of
Right,
rhyming.
right, right, right.
You know what I'm saying? So like it just all those things that I thought of like were kind of just like, you know, boggled thoughts in my mind. I put them out and I put them on a record and they did great. So like it's definitely definitely a good feeling. And yeah, it's like it's also good having like all that control. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't, you know, everyone I mess with and has got on features with for me, but you know sometimes that kind of entails a lot of waiting time and like just being in limbo and like, all right, I can't do this until this happens, and that was none of this here. You know, it was all on me. So like everything, there was no delays, which I love. You know what I'm saying? Because it
Right.
was on me. You know, so like I set forth the date and I executed, and that's like I said, that makes me feel good. So it's definitely a stepping stone of confidence within my career.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree. Listening to the record, it kind of has that theme of representing, you know, hip hop in a way that is reflective of what you guys do. But I think there was a like an artistic elevation that was added to this record that didn't kind of have those harsh overtones of just like I'm gonna kill you, but it was like it was very nicely you know elaborated of like here's why doing this work, there's a certain sense of pride when you're doing these records or when you're putting out records or when you're representing this culture. There's a certain set of standards that you have to meet. And I kind of feel like that's what you were trying to do, but you definitely elevated as far as like the song structures and the delivery goes. And I did kind of like take a step back and like, this is different. It definitely feels different, which is great.
Thank you. Awesome.
So I think that the mission is accomplished.
Thank you, sir.
Well, what is it? So I know you're doing the show tonight. What is like? And you've been before COVID happened. You were taking a lot of chances, and like you said, you're going to Indiana. You're traveling to other parts of the country, really taking your talents on the road. Do you still plan to do that now, sort of in this new world, or what do you have in mind?
Yeah, I mean, you know, doing shows outside of the state, and you know, going overseas. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm watching it just like everyone else. But yeah, I mean, once we're capable and everything is 100%, I would hate to go to like Europe and they're like, "Yo, COVID hit again," you know. So we need to be
Right.
focused on all that. But definitely, it's always in my mind. Like so many connections have been made the last times I've been there. Like I would be excited, and I think doors would already be open, you know, for us to come through. So that touring and going out is definitely there. It's definitely within the plans. But I would say like more concrete like after the new year.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that. I think we mentioned this before, but I think it's worth revisiting because I know you guys have like quite a following overseas. Well, what is that experience like? That European fan base, like, how do you differentiate that between that and those who are here in the city?
They buy shit. They buy shit, you know.
That helps.
Give it to me. They want it. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. It's a. I mean, love is love. That's fantastic. But man, it's just like, you know what? Let me just say. Let me just put it in an analogy. Like if it was like a European underground hip hop coming here to the states, they wouldn't appreciate. We wouldn't appreciate this dude flying all the way to here, all the way to the States to do something he loves with a minimal following, like basically no following, word of mouth, you know, vice versa. They appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? They're like,
Right.
yo, you came here, like, damn, this is crazy. Like, you live in Chicago and like you're here in Montpelier. doing dope ass hip hop from Chicago. Like no one does that. So like I feel like the appreciation of like everything that an artist does, not only music wise, but like just the steps that are been taking to be in their hometown, like they appreciate it so much.
That's so interesting. Yeah, I mean, definitely, and I think that when we talk about like support, supporting our local artists, supporting our local talent, that purchasing issue is, there's real power behind that. And, like actually like just, and I know that, and I was recently seeing someone say like it costs nothing to like, share,
Yep.
mention, just put a comment out there, tag someone, but like actually like putting, instead of just being a fan, but being a champion and really putting some financial, momentum behind some of the music or the merch or whatever it is, really doing that work. And I definitely try to do that within my budget.
Yeah. I
So
know it's hard. I know it's hard, and I mean, I try to do it as well. I mean, I'm also a fan as I am a rapper. You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of
sure.
my, and it's awesome to see people just like, why not have a T-shirt? You don't have to physically buy it. You know what I'm saying? You could just have it somewhere in a store, and like, just those opportunities are there. It's like for people to do it or not, and when they do, and it's dope, I'll support. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. Before we get out of here, tell me one thing about this past year that you discovered about yourself. Sort of, just sort of a reflection again about like, making this record during this pandemic. But what is this something that you discovered that you're like, holy shit, like this time down has really made me think about some things.
Um, I really like quiet. I really like being in the quiet. Like like I never realized how like peaceful just nothing is, Like I mean, it's I don't know. I guess this is like kind of has to do with the COVID and being quarantined and stuff. But like sitting and trying to figure out a space where to write when everyone's at home, it's and then you finally find the space, you're like, oh, it's so tranquil and it's so dope. And yeah, I really, really like being just alone, like rural, like so I guess I don't know, like that's something new that I found out. So I guess I'll be taking some trips to like Wyoming or something. But yeah, it's that's something I found out, and like I said, I wrote a lot of the music that is on this record, the Iconoclast, during the quarantine. So like it was like it was a different like background setting to writing this. Not only because you got the COVID thing and on your mind and everything, and you're not trying to add it to every record, but like just I guess just being at home and just being at the house like forcefully is a different like feel. It gives you like a different ambiance.
Right, exactly. All right, last question before we let you go. You just mentioned that you bought a house. What is, I know you already mentioned that you have your little carved out writing room space, which I imagine is probably the best part of it. What is the worst part about being a homeowner? I got plenty, but I want to hear from
Yep.
you.
Um, just those everyday monkey wrenches, everyday monkey wrenches. Oh, not only I have a house, but I have tenants in this building, so like I have to deal with that too. So thankfully everything's been great, but every now and then they'll be like, oh, there's a leakage, and I'm like, pause, get over here. But yeah, no, it's just those everyday little things. But truthfully, it's better than renting all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually went from living in my wife's mom's basement to the house, so I never actually rented or had that renting experience. I
hmm
just went from parents to someone's basement to a home.
That's a good
So
that's a good skip. You don't need that.
I think I cheated life a little bit, but basement life is not the life to live for long. I'm just telling you, that's not.
Just envision your parents' rent, but like quadrupled.
Or I think they call it the garden space. They try to like fluff it up like the garden
The
space.
garden unit.
Yeah, you can fucking live in the basement with only one exit and one exit and entry.
Yeah.
But anyways, but congratulations on that, man. That's fantastic
Thank you,
news.
sir. Appreciate it.
I'm sure that's really great going on for you. So good luck keeping good tenants. By the way, I heard that's a challenge.
Yeah, we're good.
Go see Tony tonight over at Wicker Park, over at the Subterranean. There's going to be a bunch of great talent from the Midwest that is going to be joining on the bill. 10 o'clock is the start time. Just show up, have your vax card, or would you say 3 days?
72 hours proof of negative results.
Well, if you haven't done any of those, you probably won't be able to come out. So you're better off just go getting the shot.
You get that rapid test. I know there's rapid tests going out there.
Yeah, that's true too. There you go. So a lot of y'all got
insurance. Impossible. It's not impossible.
There you
we
go.
need y'all there. We need all the bodies.
Iconoclast is the album. It's out there now, right?
Yes, sir. Out there, all digital streaming platforms.
All right, go put it into your life. Run those numbers up and support local Chicago hip hop and do the right thing. It'll definitely increase and make your life a lot better to experience. Thank you so much for giving us your time here on Weekend Brunch with Weekend Gabe, Tony. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right.
Peace. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you guys for the time.
No worries.